Hey Shahrukh, how are you? Hello Amir, I'm good man. Hey, did you return the book that you borrowed from me about a month back? Oh yes, now that you remind me. I actually lent it to Salman. What? You lent it to somebody else without telling me? I had specifically told you not to do this. I had mentioned this to you even while lending you the book. You know what? You always do this. I'm never lending you another book. What just happened? You noticed a silly argument. And arguments like these have an uncanny tendency to grow uglier by the minute. Tempers flaring, voices raised, hurt emotions leading to broken relationships. After all, we are all humans and humans make mistakes. These mistakes and misunderstandings lead to an upset mind and show in the form of anger and agitation. Fellow Toastmasters, through my speech today, I will show you how anger has a negative influence on our lives and how to handle it. If I were to give all of you a choice, one where you can lead peaceful life surrounded by your loved ones, and the other where you have very busy lives, where you get upset every other day, but you have all the luxuries of your life, which one would you choose?
First one, the peaceful.
Most of us would choose the peaceful alternative, right? Why is that so? Because our most valued possession is the relationships that we have, not the material wealth. Anger is defined as the negative response, physically, mentally, psychologically and environmentally, to an adverse situation. In mild forms, it is shown as a displeasure or dislike. But when it grows into a full-blown rage, it can be disastrous. I will also refer to a shloka from the Bhagavad Gita, which says, Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhranshad buddhinasho, buddhinasho pranashyati, which means that anger leads to illusion. Illusion causes bewilderment of memory. Loss of memory leads us into losing our intelligence and thus causing our downfall. It tells you that just like when you consume alcohol, you lose reason, the same thing happens when you actually become angry. You lose your ability to reason, and that leads to disastrous consequences. Before we try and understand how to control anger, we should know why are we usually angry? What are we angry about? And what happens when we are angry? So let you tell me a small story. There was a saint with his disciples who noticed a family members fighting with each other because they are angry and they are shouting. So the saint asks, disciples, why do you think they are shouting at each other? Disciple says, because they want to mention the hurt of their feeling. So he says, what is the need to shout? They are close by, they could talk calmly, peacefully. Why shout? They can't give a convincing answer. So the saint says, anger is the emotional response of the body and emotions come from heart. So even though two people are close by, when they are angry, their hearts grow far in distance. And for the other heart to listen to this heart, they have to shout. And as the amount of anger grows, the hearts grow farther and farther until they can't find the way back. So be cautious when you are angry. Don't let the hearts grow too far. So what are the different reasons for us being angry? Most of us are angry first at others, some individual. Could be that we don't like that person. Anything he does, right or wrong, we just don't like it and we are angry at him. We live in a very competitive world, but we need to understand that we can play the game of life in a competitive spirit. We can learn from greats and legends like Sachin Tendulkar or Rahul Dravid, who never lost their cool on the field of play, even though they were sledged or stared at. Second reason is that most people are angry at God or the whole world. They have this paranoid feeling that the whole world is out to get them. Anything wrong that happens with them, it's the bloody fate or everybody is cunning and they're trying to pull them down. The third and most dangerous reason is to be angry at yourself. Any situation, any outcome, there are some people with low self-esteem who will somehow find a reason and find fault at what they did. This is very, very dangerous, and we need to be aware of this particular situation. The reasons for anger at oneself could be stress. You may be overworked, or sometimes people have this tendency to stay in the past. We need to learn to stay in the present and think about the future. And sometimes we feel that having everything in the world, good material possessions, is what will make you happy. But you need to remember that the richest businessman, most famous celebrity, or even the most skilled sportsman is not truly happy. They are all unsatisfied with their lives. So we need to keep these in mind. Let me tell you one more story. Now that you have understood that anger is there in all of us, we need to recognize it's there and we need to cure it. What do? You go to someone wise. So there was this one person who goes to a monk and says, "Monk, I have this unbearable temper, could you please cure me of it?" Just like a doctor wants to see a visible proof, this monk asks the person, "Can you show me the anger?" He says, "Monk, it doesn't work that way. I don't have it, I can't show it right now." So he says, "That's okay, you can come back when you have it." He says, "No, I can't do that. Most probably, when I get the temper, I'll probably lose it by the time I get to you." So the monk says, "So obviously, you did not have it, you were not born with it. Your parents or teachers did not give it to you. So it's a foreign body which is getting into you and causing you distress. So it's like any other disease. So when you get the temper, please stomp it out and push it away from your body." So this shows us that we need to deal with it in a very harsh way. And there are some people who take it to a completely different level in dealing with anger. When Mother Teresa was asked, "Don't you feel angry at all the social injustice around you and the indifference that people show towards their fellow human beings?" Her answer was, "Why do I need to waste my energy in being angry when I can use the same energy and shower love on the same people?" Very few people have this capability of converting their anger into love. And again, there are three main types of responses that we have towards anger. They are express, suppress, and forgive. I'll put the same in a different form using 3 C's. Communicate, compromise, or commit. The first one is express. The usual form which most of us indulge in is to express it by shouting or retaliating at the other person when we are angry, which is not the right way. The right way to do it would be to communicate. Be level-headed, cool-headed, be rational, and indulge in assertive two-way communication. That way you can express your feelings and listen to what the other person is doing. Be in their shoes, learn why they did what they did. The second is suppress, which has a negative connotation to it. So I will say, never suppress your anger, but deal with it by compromising. You would all have heard of this tip. When you're angry, you want to say something bad, just count to 10. And what are you doing during this time? You're just waiting. There's a saying that goes, after a storm comes a calm. And the same works with our emotions as well. If you just wait when you're angry, the cycle will turn and the anger will just go away. You will be calm again after some time. It is not easy to reach that place where a lot of different things are happening which you don't like, but you want to stay calm and peaceful. This type of anger this type of technique may work when you are angry with yourself or with God. When you have an individual who you are angry with, you can go and communicate with them. Sometimes when you don't have anyone to communicate with, you can put it down in writing. You can write a blog, you can put it as a Facebook status message or a tweet. I'm sure you will have a circle of friends who will reach out to you and help you repress that anger. And the third form is to forgive and forget, which is probably the most difficult of all. When you know that something is wrong has been done against you, it's very difficult to control your feelings and forgive the other person. But it's the right thing to do. And you are taking a moral high ground. Take the example of Malala Yousafzai. She was shot at point blank range. And what did she do after she recovered? She said, "I forgive the gunman. I'm not fighting a battle against that one person. I'm fighting a battle for the cause of education for the girl child. I won't gain anything by hating that person or being angry at him. She chose to forgive. And what did that do? That would make the other person think and introspect. Why did she forgive me? Did I commit really something wrong? She has taken a moral high ground. And this example can also be seen in small kids from the ages of 2 to 5. If you play with them, most often they'll get angry at you saying, no, you're not giving me my toy, I'll not play with you, I'll not talk to you. You turn your head, 1 minute later, they come running back into your arms. This is the best kind of anger to have, a fleeting anger. You just forget about it because you love and care about the other person. Think about this. Are you ever angry at the finance minister because he has levied more taxes on you? No, you just don't care about them. You're only angry at persons who you care about or who you love. You would be angry at a backstabbing friend who told you, go watch Doom 3, it's excellent. I mean, I could just ignore it if I read it in some reviewer posted it, right? But because my friend told it, I would be angry at him. So remember that your relationships are more valuable than being angry just for no reason. I would like to end my speech by again using a very oft repeated tale of the tortoise and the hare. We all know the tortoise is slow and steady, and because of the laziness of the hare, at the end the tortoise wins the race. I feel that the moral out of the story has been wrongly taken as slow and steady wins the race. The tortoise can do nothing but be slow and steady. That is its nature. That was not a conscious choice. But what conscious choice did it take? It took the choice of being cool and composed. It did not say, I'm angry at the god because he gave me short limbs and a bulky body. It did not say, I'm angry at the hare because it was an unfair challenge to start with. It did not say, I'm angry at myself. I could have woken up at 5 p.m. and run marathons to practice for this race. It did not do any of these. It said, I am what I am. I love myself. I am going to be as I am. Be whatever the outcome may be. So in this competitive world, we should not say slow and steady wins the race. It's human against human here. So we have to say, stay cool and composed and you are sure to win the race. I rest my case.